Welcome back to another episode of Be a Better Baddie. My name is Quenisha, and I am your host, coach, teacher, and fellow baddie. It is the end of one month, and we are going into another month. That means it's time to recap the previous month and talk about our goals for the next month. So, I want to dive straight into it with a recap. I started this year off with a stomach bug. I feel like I had norovirus. It took me 3 to 4 days to really, start to feel like I can stand on my own again. My mom was also here in the beginning of the year. She was here for a couple weeks in January. We went to a bridal extravaganza. So it was kinda like a wedding conference type of thing. It was very overwhelming and underwhelming at the same time. Overwhelming just because there were so many people, so many vendors. They wanted your contact information. They wanted to know this and that. And it wasn't really helpful because we're not getting married in Houston. I really wanted to just go see more, learn more, possibly see some wedding dresses in person. So, yeah, lots of family time in January. We went and played bingo. I also started practicing for a Houston Rockets halftime show. I am a part of this dance group that does the halftime show every year. They have done it every year. This is my third year. I've done it every year since we started. The company is called Diva Dance. And it was sort of like my introduction to dance, going to classes and learning choreography. It was a lot of fun. I've been with them for 3 years doing this halftime show. I think this is my last year doing it. Um, I think I just want to do other things. It's nothing bad about diva dance. It's still really fun, good introduction to dance. I just really want to go and train with different choreographers. It's so weird with me saying the word train. So I do go to another studio, Soundbox, and at the end of all of our classes, we perform the dance we learned in small groups. I went to a new class in the month of January, and the teacher called me to be in one of the small groups. So we go in groups anyways. Let's say there's 20 people, we'll do 4 groups of 5, and then maybe the choreographer, the teacher will call 6 people that they think did really good and call them to perform again. I got called to do it. So that was a big accomplishment for me, and I'm excited to possibly get called more slash get better, become more confident, etc., etc. So that also happened in January. And then Houston had a snow day in January. A little scary considering we're in Houston and we shouldn't have that much snow, but it was nice to see. Very nice, slow couple of days. Eric stayed home for 2 days. He didn't have to go to work. I still had to work because I work remotely. That's the recap. Now I want to talk about the goals that I set for the month of January and what I achieved and what I didn't. And generally, the way I set goals is I have an entire vision board and I have my intentions for the year. And then I took those and I kind of made really big goals and just put them on a bingo board. I did that this year. This is different for me. Put those on a bingo board. And then each month I scaffolded to do things to work up to a couple of items on my bingo board. So that is how I'm approaching that. Now for January, my goals were to post every week on my podcast, my YouTube, my blog, and my Instagram. I also had a goal to read one book. I wanted to pick a wedding planner. I wanted to schedule wedding dress shopping. And I also wanted to run a total of 10 miles. Let's go through each of those and see what I did. Now, in terms of posting, I was able to be really consistent with this. There were 5 possible weeks for me to post in the month of January, and I posted in 4 of those 5 weeks. The one week that I didn't post, I was sick. So I cut myself some slack. And I won't lie, I was in the bed thinking, mm, should you just record something? And it didn't happen. So I'm not upset about that. So with me making a YouTube video, that's how I'm able to remain consistent on all my other platforms. I take my YouTube video and I also download the audio version of it, post it to my podcast platform, and then I'll also take clips of the YouTube video, make short form videos to post on Instagram, also on YouTube Shorts, sometimes TikTok. And then I was working on my blog too this past month. So taking my content, downloading the transcript, and then putting it on my blog. If you prefer to read things rather than watch it, or maybe you want to just read because I change it up, I have to edit it to sound readable. You can also go to my blog at beabetterbaddie.com and read the blog. The website also has other things. I have a quiz on there as well for you to determine like which baddie pillar is your strength and which is your weakness. So go and check out the website. So overall for this goal, even though I didn't post every week, the one week I didn't post, I was sick, and I'll still give myself credit for this goal. So yes, I achieved this goal. My second goal for January was to read one book. This was the book I read. So it's called She Started It. I really like this book. It was a perfect balance of like drama and thriller. And it was also balancing different timelines. So it was talking about things that happened in the past and things that happened in the present time. And I feel like sometimes I get lost. I don't know where I am when authors do that, when they're going back and forth. But this one was a perfect balance. I was able to follow it. So quick summary of it. I'll try to not give away too many spoilers in case you want to read it, which I do recommend you read it. I do recommend you read it. It's good. It was a nice, fun read. So nothing serious. Nothing serious. So there was this girl who got bullied throughout middle and high school by this group of girls. The girl who got bullied was Poppy. So I'll only name Poppy. Poppy, years later, after they graduated high school and college, Poppy sent the group of girls, each girl in the group, an invitation to her bachelorette party. Child, she offered them like free accommodations on this private island, first class flights out there. So the girls met up and they were like, we bullied her. Maybe she forgot, or maybe she just doesn't care anymore. So they still ended up going to the island. They get there. Poppy tortures them essentially, ends up killing them, and all of them except one end up dying. She finds a way to flip it so that the last one living would be blamed for all the deaths. And turns out Poppy was not actually Poppy. So I know I gave away a lot. I'll learn how to summarize books better without giving it away. Just because I know I'm going to want to read a book every month and I'm going to include it in these videos. So read She Started It. Still a very good read. The next goal I had for the month of January was to choose a wedding planner. Now, this one was pretty easy to do. I wouldn't even consider it a goal. It was more like a to do. So I'll go over my to dos later. And the difference between goals and to dos, goals are things that you want to do, you want to set aside time to do them, versus your to dos are things that you actually will do anyways. So we have a wedding planner. We had a meeting with her earlier in the month of January, and we got her. So now we just have to we created a Pinterest board for everything that we wanted in the wedding. And now the next step is going to be to meet with her, go over the vision board, then kind of parse out all the different pieces of the wedding. I really don't know. But nonetheless, we have a wedding planner, and that relates to my next goal, which was to schedule wedding dress shopping. And I dropped the ball here. So obviously I want to go wedding dress shopping with my mom. My mom was here in the month of January. I did not schedule any wedding dress shopping, which I should have done. Which I should have done. So now I find myself having to schedule wedding dress shopping still, and then find a time when she can come out here because she doesn't live in Texas with me. So that's being pushed to February. It will get done because at this point it has to get done. My last goal for the month of January was to run a total of 10 miles throughout the month, and I failed. I don't even think I ran anything. I honestly can't even tell you what I ran because I didn't run outside. And when I run outside, that's when I use my Nike Run Club app to track. It was too cold outside. There was a snow day. I was sick. So no, I did not run. And I'm actually tired of myself setting this running goal, and I'm shifting it for February. So just to give you a little bit context into my journey as a runner, we ran a turkey trot in November. I trained for that. And I say maybe really trained, like for real, like maybe a month and a half before it. And then ran the turkey trot, feeling good. December, I set a goal to run 15 miles that entire month. I didn't do it. It was cold. Like I need to learn myself. If it's cold, I don't want to go outside at all. I don't care how much I layer up. I don't want to go outside. So no, I did not run 15 miles. I ran like 5 miles in December. So then for January, I said, okay, maybe 15 was a little too ambitious. Let's crank it down. So I set the goal for 10. I didn't. I got sick and it was cold, etc., etc. So I did sign up to run a 5K on March 1st. So at some point, I'm going to have to get outside and hopefully it's not still too cold for me because that would be sad. But I'll be at the 5K. I will be at the 5K still. So that's everything that happened in January. And then my to-dos for the month. So remember earlier I talked about like what a to-do is and what a goal. My to-dos were to prepare and send out our save the dates for the wedding. We did that. I have a bridesmaid call. So all of my bridesmaids, we got on a Zoom call. We talked about like some logistical things, gathered availability for bachelorette party, um, and just had a good time. So bridesmaid call, complete the wedding website. Eric completed the wedding website. It had to be completed with the save the date so that people can see the website. And then I wanted to do my hair as well. My hair is done. I did it. I'm ready to take it out now. So those are the things I knew I had to do in the month of January. Now, I've been doing monthly reflections on my own for about 4 or 5 years. And something I think I want to add this year is having a word of each month just to see where my head was at the end of the year. I think the biggest part of documenting my monthly goals and my reflections is at the end of the year, I have this entire picture of who I was this year. And I can look at that not only at the end of this year, but for years to come. So, in looking at the things that I did this month, recapping, I think two words kind of stand out to me. The first thing is prioritizing. Felt very clear about the things that I was prioritizing, which I think is not only preparing for my wedding, but preparing for our marriage. I have this, it's not a fear of marriage, it's just an unknown. Like, I don't know many married couples. So I feel like I really want to focus on building a strong foundation for Eric and I so that we can have a lifelong marriage and build a really strong, solid, happy family. So I know that's one thing that I really wanted to focus on. And then I also really want to focus on dance, and that means I prioritize dance. I wanted to practice dancing. I got new heels. I really want to prioritize becoming better at dance. And I don't know why. It's just something I want to dive into. And I feel really good doing it. Another word to summarize January is awakening, too. I feel more exposed. I feel like my eyes are more open to the things that I can do and the things that I can accomplish and the things that I have done. I guess I'm kind of January. I felt like, okay, you actually are that girl. You're that girl and then some more. So those are my two words for the month: priorities, or another form of that word, and kind of awakening. So that was January. And then the last thing I need to do for January is make my scrapbook page. Now, my goals for February, I'll tell you the truth, I'm still building the list out, but I needed to go ahead and record this video. But today is the first, so I'm gonna be done with the list. I don't think the list is gonna be that much longer. I just really need to look at it and consider it one more time. Right now, my goals are to incorporate running on my treadmill into my morning workouts. I've been doing that for the past few mornings. If I'm not gonna go outside, I need to use the resources that I do have, and I have a treadmill. So, as much as it allows me to run on it, I'm gonna do it. The second is to do my bestest ever in my upcoming halftime show. I feel like this is going to be my last one. So I really want to do good at it, make sure I get good video of it and everything, and kind of just close that chapter of my life. The next thing I want to do is schedule time for my mom to visit here so we can try on wedding dresses. And I don't want that to happen any later than March. I'm already complicating the situation because I may have to travel for work in the month of March. So that's another thing. Next goal is to continue to post on YouTube and Instagram every week. This month, I'm adding another layer to it. So last month, my focus was consistency. This month, my focus is honing in on my editing style. I'm playing around with like GIFs and freeze frames. And yes, I am still learning how to edit. And hopefully in the future, I will have someone edit these videos for me, but for now, I'm the one doing it, so I can't go and hire someone to edit my videos if I don't even know what I really want my videos to look like. Then, next goal is to stand in the front of the line during our dance recording. So when I go to dance class, like I said, we record our dance at the end. I want to stand in that front line at least twice. I'm holding myself to that. Next is to read one book. And then the last one I have is to get my fence fixed. I need to get my fence fixed. I've already got some quotes. I want to get two more quotes, then make a decision, and then just pull the trigger and let it happen. Now that I've read over the goals, that's all. That's all I could do for February. And if anything, I really need to add in go outside and run because the 5K is March 1st, which is the end of February. So not only do I need to incorporate running on my treadmill into my morning workouts, I need to get outside and pound some pavement. I need to. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what you think about this type of video. Leave a like below, and I will see you all in the next one. Okay, bye.